it's Reija and welcome to another video. So earlier this month I was in Chicago to participate in Worldcon, and you know what that means? It's time for a book haul. So while I was in Chicago, I got obviously the chance to visit the dealer's room at Chicon8, also known as Worldcon, and I also visited a comic book store and a Barnes & Noble, which might not seem all that much to the Americans and Canadians out there, but for me, as a person who has heard a lot about Barnes & Noble but never actually got to visit one, that was a huge touristy deal. So all of these books are either from the dealer's room from Worldcon or various bookstores and comic book shops located in Chicago. So without further ado, let's get started. I am quickly going to talk about the manga that I bought at the Barnes & Noble because here's the thing, manga is expensive. But manga in Finland is even more expensive because the way the prices are settled, they take the US price, which for example for this volume is $12.99, and then they do conversion for USD to Euro, and then they add the sales tax and also the profit margin for that. So a book that is $12.99 plus sales tax in the US may cost upwards of over 20 euros in Finland. That's why I was really excited to actually go to some places while I was in Chicago to buy manga specifically, because it is not a lot cheaper, but it is significantly cheaper than in Finland. So, first of all, I bought Given Volume 1 by Natsuki Kizu. This is a BL Boys Love manga all about this band and various relationships that the band members have with each other. And I have heard lots of great things about this, especially from Adri from Perpetual Pages. And I have wanted to read this for so long, and the first volume has always been sold out. So I will definitely be reading this. I might actually be reading this later today after I stop filming all my videos. So yeah, this is one that I have been very excited about. So I definitely had to buy it. The next manga that I got was Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirahama Volume 1. Now, you may be surprised because you know that I am actually collecting this series by Volume 1. See, I was reading this series from the library, and until Volume 6, I got all of the volumes from the library, so I actually started collecting the series from Volume 6 onwards. Therefore, I have all the later volumes, but not the actual starting volumes, so I'm now backtracking and working my way backwards from Volume 6, so I got the first volume. I am really looking forward to rereading this multiple times in my life, and also looking for marking all of the reference materials for future cosplay projects, because this series basically consumes my every waking moment at this point. And the final manga that I got is the 5th volume of A Man and His Cat by Umi Sakurai. I have made a full review of the first volume, which you may enjoy. I will link it up in the cards. And this manga is just such a feel-good, wholesome story, especially for if you are a cat lover or a cat owner or both. This is a story that really resonates with all the cat owner shenanigans and stuff, but it is also a commentary on grief and abandonment, especially in later volumes, and working together and finding your own community and your own group of people, especially if you are all cat lovers and have unseemly obsession with your cats. This is a series for you. So I got the 5th volume, and lo and behold, I got back to Finland and I found out that the 6th volume has just come out. So I'm like, oh no. I am sad to say that I noticed a marked difference in the art style in this volume as opposed to the earlier ones, which I'm wondering has the author had a wrist or hand injury of some kind, because the art significantly looks a little bit different. It's hard to say. Nevertheless, I am very excited to read this at some point. And then for some books that I got at the dealer's room at Worldcon. starting with The Way Spring Arrives and Other Stories from a visionary team of female and non-binary creators, edited and collected by Yu Chen and Regina Canyu-Wang. And I basically have wanted a physical copy of this ever since I read this book for my book club, the Shorts and Sorcery Book Club. I will leave the live show recording that I did with Rachel from Kalanadi up in the cards as well for you to check out if you so choose. This I thought was such a strong collection, and I immersion read the book by listening it on audio and also reading the ebook. So it just makes sense that I round up the whole format roundup with a physical copy as well. And this has such good production. Like every title page is illustrated, and it just feels good and hefty in my hands, and I can't wait to go back and reread some of the stories and annotate. And possibly in the future, if I ever meet some of these authors at conventions, I will ask them to sign their title pages for their stories and stuff. So I definitely wanted my own physical copy of this because this was such a fantastic collection. And speaking of anthologies, I got Out There, Into the Queer New Yonder, edited by Sandra Mitchell. And I basically have been really looking forward to the anthologies in this specific series, because these are kind of demographic bridging, starting from young adult but bridging into older teen, young adult markets. And these anthologies are all about queer experiences. The first one was in the queer past, and then there has been also contemporary queer short story anthology, and this is now the sci-fi anthology, which is imagining queer futures. So I love this cover. Also, based on the roster of different authors, there's Mason Deaver, who I know is a non-binary author who has written. I can't remember the name of the book now, but I'll put it up here. And this has such. There's Kay Ankrum and Claire Kahn are the authors that I definitely know and have heard of, but I have not read anything from any of these authors, so this is so exciting for me, because this is basically making me pick a book that has all these new authors in it, and it's basically giving me an opportunity to find out more about great storytellers and new stories and new authors to immerse myself into. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. This might be a future pick for the Shorts and Sorcery Book Club. Another anthology that I got is Tomorrow's Parties, Life in the Anthropocene, edited by Jonathan Strahan. And this includes stories by Meg Ellison, Tade Thompson, and Malka Older, to name a few. And this is another new release anthology. It was released this year, and all of these stories are original to this collection, so these are not reprints. And I'm very excited to pick this up in case I need to read some short stories for next year's Hugo voting, for example. There's also at least one story in this collection that is in translation, so I am very much looking forward to picking this up. And then I got A Taste of Golden Iron by Alexandra Rowland, and I have been wanting to get this book ever since it was came out earlier this year, but I specifically did not want to get the UK cover that is available here in Finland. I wanted the US cover because look at this. This is such a gorgeous, romantic, cheesy illustrated cover, and I live for it. I love it. And the UK cover is just a stock image wreath of some random Art Nouveau-ish vines. It doesn't say anything. This on the other hand, this tells you exactly what is gonna happen in this book, and I'm loving it. So yeah, I basically just bought it to. I mean, I am interested in reading the book, obviously, but I basically wanted to just have this specific cover and also to support the author. And then I got some novellas. First of all, I got What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. This cover is everything. I love it. And I have liked T. Kingfisher's, basically their horror specifically. I really liked The Hollow Places, and I also have followed Ursula Vernon, which is T. Kingfisher's, anyway, T. Kingfisher, Ursula Vernon. I have followed Ursula Vernon's art journey ever since early 2000s or so she's very familiar to me. So I'm always looking more into getting into her more adult stuff because her children's stuff isn't so much my cup of tea. So yeah, this one is something that I have been looking forward to picking up, and it's short and it was available, so I got it. And then I got High Time in the Low Parliament by Kelly Robson. This will be the first thing that I have read from Kelly Robson. I have heard great things about her from, for example, Rachel from Kalanadi, and I have been meaning to read her older works, especially there was the Peach one, Lucky Peach. I will put the cover over there as well because I suck at remembering names, it seems, at this stage. So I have been meaning to read some of her stuff, but I always somehow missed the opportunity to do so. So now I have this, I might as well get to it. And then Tachyon Publishing had their own booth at the convention, so I bought two things from there. I got The Bruising of Kilwa by Nassim Jamia, and this was actually signed as well, which was really cool. As you can see, there's the sign. And I wanted to read this, and everyone at the convention kept talking about it. It came up in multiple panels that I went to. And I have the ebook actually on my Kobo that I could read anytime I wanted, but this just happened to be at the table. So I thought that, okay, I'm gonna support the author, I'm gonna support queer non-binary rep in SFF, and I'm just gonna get it. And yeah, I'm hoping I will end up liking it. And speaking of non-binary and queer rep in SFF, I got The Unbalancing by R.B. Lemberg, which is a novel in the Birdverse. If you know the novella Four Profound Weaves, this is set in the same universe, not necessarily following the same characters as far as I know. And I'm really looking forward to reading this as well. I need to reread and re-listen the Four Profound Weaves before I get to this, I think, because I just want to, and I want to kind of immerse myself back into this world before I pick up this one. So yeah, really looking forward to picking this one up. And then I got some translated young adult horror. So I Shall Awaken by Katerina Sardika, and this is translated to English from Czech, and I checked, and there is no Finnish translation of this. And this is basically, it is pitched as Stranger Things meets Conjuring, and it's kind of like Kids on Bikes type of scenario where back in the day these kids went missing, and then later on some of them return, and it's about this mystery of finding the missing child that did not return. So it's about things get spirited away, there's this folkloric element, and it's all about this supernatural sort of gothic horror. And once again, I love the cover, and this one is illustrated as well. There are some illustrations in this book. So I am really looking forward to picking this one up, and I can't wait to read it, maybe in the next round of Translatathon. And then these next two books are from an independent bookstore called The Afterword in Chicago. And first of all, I got The Siren Queen by Nhi Vo, and I'm not gonna lie, I could have gotten this from the convention center dealers room as well. But it has this local author sticker, and actually I'm not mad about the sticker. It has the Chicago skyline. It kind of this is the sort of thing that I will remember, and it's kind of a memory of that trip. And I actually did not know that Nhi Vo is a local author to Chicago, so that was a huge plus. So I got this one, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this. Nhi Vo, I have read their novellas like The Empress of Salt and Fortune, and I really like their work. I really love their work, so I'm looking forward to diving into their novels. I still have yet to read either of them, so this will help me in that fact as I actually own it and don't have to contend with other library users. And then from afterward as well, I got The Veiled Throne by Ken Liu. This is the third book in the Dandelion Dynasty, and Speaking Bones has just come out recently. I haven't yet to read this one, so it's gonna be a chunker, and the text is quite tiny, but I loved The Wall of Storms, and I can't wait to read this and pick it up and enjoy it, because I know that Ken Liu won't disappoint me. I have so much faith in him and his work. Like, Grace of Kings was good. It set up a really interesting, like, imaginative world, and then Wall of Storms just knocked it out of the park. So I'm expecting some great things from this. I'm actually kind of hoping that I will get the Speaking Bones pretty quickly as well, just so I can read them back to back, because I know that this book was kind of chopped off in the middle because it was originally supposed to be a trilogy and not a quartet. So yeah, can't wait to pick this one up. And the very final thing that I have to show in this haul is actually the very first thing that I bought, and it is Bolero by Wyatt Kennedy and Luana Vecchio, and it is a graphic novel, and it is pitched as the, like, eternal sunshine of the spotless mind meets Lock and Key and make it sapphic. So it is essentially a sort of queer horror story, sort of like alternate realities, what could have been scenarios, and it deals with a lot of like regret and yearning, and I love it. And if I end up liking it, it's also eligible next year for Hugo nominations in the like best graphic story category. So I'm actually like currently looking into comics and graphic novels and manga specifically with the idea of like, okay, which are some new releases that are coming out this year and have come out that look interesting and promising that could be eligible for nominations next year. And this is one of them, and I will probably be reading this later this week. And there you have it. Those were all of the books that I bought from my trip to Chicago from Worldcon and assorted shops around town. I will have the rest of my haul, which will include all of the knickknacks and stuff that I bought during my trip, in my Worldcon retrospective, which will hopefully be coming up next week, as well as my video about volunteering at conventions. So those two videos should be coming up relatively soon, fingers crossed. And if you like this video, please leave me a spaceship emoji, because I was at Worldcon and I talked a lot about the Hugo Awards in this video as well. So please leave me a spaceship emoji if you watched this video and got this far, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye bye!